it comes to work is it's very difficult to force someone with a neurodivergent brain to get out, be uncomfortable, to get out of their comfort zone, to not want to do work with something that they don't care about. A lot of people in the world will just do their job because it makes money and, you know, and they need to, and that whole thing. But a lot of the neurodivergent brains don't really understand that as much. And they just want to focus on what makes them happy and what they love to do.
Absolutely.
So the arts, what happened was, instead of that, taking that as a negative, Garth and I and Kathy have tried to spin it into a positive, which is most artists in the industry don't have a full-time job, and it's not a steady job. It's more gig related.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have both? So in the sense of, like, if you get a job with Spec Labs and you're working on a project here, it's some nice freelance work for a little bit and you're doing something you love, but then you could also have your other job, whatever it may be, whether it's something at home that you're doing, or if you get a job at, you know, a grocery store, or a job at a bar, or whatever, like, it's, you know, whatever that other job is. And that's what I did. I mean, I was a bartender and caterer, and I had 2 jobs always. I had 3 or 4 jobs a lot.
Same.
And, you know, and so it's kind of that, we kind of say that to the parents, who are of course very concerned, because the unemployment rate is out of control within the neurodiversity and autism community. It's like something like 85 to 90% are unemployed. So we try to look at it as, not only is, if they get a job on a TV show, or they record for a voice acting job one day, that will not only be like, oh, cool, they got a paycheck, but it's also like making them feel better about themselves and bringing confidence and self-esteem into their work. So the arts is, for what I've noticed, is the direct line into a better life. For that, if you take away the arts, or you just say, no, you have to get a job, you have to make money and do all that, that can lead to a downfall or a downward spiral. And I've seen it. I've actually seen some students who have been with us and then get taken out, and then seen kind of what happens when they're forced into the so-called world they don't want to be forced into. So I think it's about balance, you know, and I think that's what Garth and I preach. We don't have a vocational program in the sense of we train them to get a job. We're not like, we're not that. We're just, we like to think of ourselves as kind of a training educational school that like helps train them for the work. So when we get them jobs, or we put them on a set, and then if they do book that job and they get on the set, then they're like, oh, this isn't crazy weird. It's like, oh, it's like when I did that thing for Spec Labs. So it's familiar, and trying to create a safe environment here, but hopefully not make it as, because it's crazy out there, because the Hollywood sets are intense, you know, long days, people screaming, high stress and energy. And, you know, it's not a healthy environment. It wasn't a healthy environment for me. So I left it, even though I still loved it, but it was most of the time it was a lot for me.
Absolutely.
And stuff. So I had the most fun on the sets I created. So, you know, and I think that's our big goal, is Garth, Kathy, and I goal is to create a production studio for the autism and neurodivergent community in Los Angeles. So not are we only creating projects, but clients are coming to us and saying, hey, I want to hire you guys. And then we're hiring our students to work on these things.